hopefully. Anyway, welcome to another stream. I couldn't really get this to work today for some reason. It's always something. Always something. Always something. Director. Okay, I think I'm here. Yes, we're online. After the third try, it's so easy when you do it with your phone. You screw it up. So, if you like to give it a thumbs up, that will be helpful. YouTube cares a lot about these things now. So please, 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 please give it a thumbs up. Even if you see this after the fact tonight, so please just give it a thumbs up. I'm actually bought myself a new camera, cost me 10,000 kronor, or actually $1,000, but I'm not getting it until for 10 days. So it's going to be less yellow and more kind of better camera, I think. So bear with me. If you have any questions or you pop in here, please check it out. Please say hi. Say hi. And feel free to ask me questions. Yeah, so hopefully more people pops in. So just gonna hello, number 2. Good evening. Gonna paint on this big landscape. I just need to do some data work over here. Takes me half a sec. Just need to take my leaves. So I'll be there soon. Yeah, I think I will be there soon. Okay, here I am. So 2 people are watching. Nobody's asking questions, as usual. That's fine. I hope the sound is good. I can actually listen to. Hope the sound is good. Well, it's not too bad. It's okay. So it's a little bit delay when I see myself on the tube here. Just need to do some a little bit more view time. So here, yeah, and this one, same. Takes a little time before I'm going. It's very late tonight anyway, so probably not so many people watching. But that's fine. That's how it is sometimes. Here. I put maybe I didn't put commercial. Ah, okay. That's fine. That's fine. I'm just gonna do my painting. If somebody pops in, I will see you here. As you say, you can ask questions. I'm working on this huge painting. It is basically, probably some of you maybe saw this short. It's like this. It's quite big, but so I'm now working just with the details on the foot here. That's what I'm doing. I was actually going to go over the cloud also today. We need to get some more textures into the cloud and stuff. Let's see how far I get today. It's not so easy actually. So just doing trying to get the texture here to build the light, so it's almost like this gazelle or whatever people who are using. Oh, okay, maybe put the camera somewhere so you see better, so I don't stand in the way, like this. Yeah, that's better, I think. Yeah. So what I do here is just I work in directions to create this cloth, and we just go back and forth and try to get the colors right. As you can see, it's very yellow here, but it doesn't. It is more yellow for me in reality, but it's not that yellow. And I wouldn't paint it that yellow anyway. I might print a new print and take away some of the yellow colors, but I want pour yellow into it anyway, so it's okay. Yes, it is. Sure is. Yes. So, also, when I work with the hands and stuff, maybe I should go a little bit closer when I do that. So you can actually see. The important thing is to work in directions. I'm going to put it here. I try to maybe put in a strategic brushstroke that goes a little bit down like this to get direction like here. But then I also need to crisscross over it to get a more natural surface. And that is how you build texture, just build on top of this over and over, of course. Yeah. So. Like this, yeah. It's very shiny there, but I have to kind of push down the colors here because I actually pour into that. Also, if you put in too much white, you will kind of kill it. So you need to kind of see where the white is. What I'm also going to do with this painting, because I'm going to deliver it to an exhibition in not so long, so I will try to work with this painting wet in wet, like I did with the tattoo girl. If you do that, you can actually, and the good thing is that the colors, you know, this is Old Holland colors, and they are thick, but they're not the colors that dries the fastest, just because they don't have that much oil in them. But it also makes it possible for me to work over and over in many days, and as the colors get sticky, I can kind of add more color on top without it kind of being too much mixed together. It makes it possible to build textures on top of basically wet paint. A process I actually like, so it becomes a little bit more impressionistic. I don't get the chance to put in a lot of glazes and stuff like that, but it's a kind of a different process. And that color is just totally wrong. Way too violet. So I just need to get it down to a more neutral color. Also, I used the background here to kind of push this. Pushing the shape. Remember to give a thumbs up, people. It's very important for the algorithm. I have real problems getting this channel out into the algorithm. Maybe it's because I talk too much or something, I don't know. But anyway, there's a market for everything, as you say. You just have to find your audience. Some people who may been with me for a while, they know I used to have an older channel. It was bigger, and it was hacked in 2020, and after that I have had huge problems getting into the algorithm. It's monetized, but you know, it's not easy. So thumbs up always. It's funny, I have like almost 3,000 followers on this channel now, and my videos doesn't get this many thumbs up, and it costs nothing. It costs you nothing just to press the. It's not get. I mean, if you're already subscribed anyway, I mean, just give it a thumbs up. How bad can that be? And it's so helpful for artists and stuff who doesn't. I'm not making kind of these fancy videos, fast and furious videos. I just stand here and I paint and I rant, and if somebody asks me a question, I get into a conversation and we can have some fun. And if not, we're just gonna do my painting. Maybe I should just put on the shortness of life of Seneca, and people can pop in and ask me questions. Something, I can just shut up and see what happens. Maybe I should get closer. You see how I work? I've got crisscross. If you do more, if it was more photorealistic, I had to be way more careful with how I sketch and stuff like that. So, but I don't, so I don't give too much care about that. So, my daughter in this painting, and she has a poem of Christopher Hitchens here. Oh, hello, Amalia, still awake? Hey, but honey bunny, is this no? The new camera comes in 10 days, you know. So, hopefully, remember thumbs up and stuff. By the way, was it commercial on this when you logged in? I wonder if I forgot to put it on, but it doesn't really matter, you know. But maybe it's better for the algorithm to have some ads on, because. So you didn't get any sleep? You're still high? My girlfriend is called, her name is Amalia Rusalt Ness. She has her own channel. She's now, we find her in chat. So please go to her channel and sign up because she's building and she's a good painter. So please go check that out. Still. I thought you were tired, so I wasn't gonna wake you up. Have you watch me do what I always do. And I was kind of spontaneous because I listened to some music and was painting, and then suddenly I become so inspired and I have to show the whole world how great I have, great time I have. So typical. Coffee and everything I need. So you're still awake? 2 in the morning? I guess that has its own causes. My girlfriend got his first yellow belt in Taekwondo today, so congratulations. She did a very, you should put out that Pomsa on your YouTube channel because it was really good. It was really good. It's one of the best yellow belts I've seen go. Maybe you should start going doing competition in Pomsa because you are really good and get some medals for no good reason. But you know, I actually regret I didn't do that myself because I was quite good in technique, and but I never bothered because I did so much when I was training karate when I was young, so never bothered with competitions in Taekwondo, despite training it for 30 years and 8 years with karate, or was it 7, something like that. Anyway, maybe she went. She's not answering, so maybe she went to sleep again. Yeah, back to painting. If somebody have a painting, now there's 10 people in here, I see. So if somebody have a painting question or whatever they want to ask me, please do. It's so important because then you can trigger me to do my rants. Maybe I can go in and actually see if this has hands on it. I've been quite hyper tonight, yeah, but the meds is starting to wear off. Yeah, she took a ADHD pill, it's kind of cheating. But, I mean, she has ADHD, so why not? And the chemicals. Oh, it is, okay. I thought I forgot because I didn't see any myself, so that's good. Just gonna stand here and do the painting, and then I'm gonna do this cloud later. I don't know how long I will bother to stream, but I mean, I just want to get something more out on the channel because it's been a while since I was streaming last time. So. I have to keep this very wet because it's gonna be an exhibition and not so far into the future. And I have to make the whole exhibition this one, so it's gonna be rough. Why did I wait a year to start on it? It's like ridiculous. It's typical every single time. This time is actually quite extreme, but I did other things, so, and that's the problem when you have too many commission works. You kind of have to do all kinds of stuff. So So I'm gonna have some long hours this month. Maybe I should just not exercise so much this month, maybe once or two times a week instead of 5. So I put all my energy into the painting, because when I exercise I sometimes go too far, or usually go too far, and then I get tired after and can't really, and at my age it might be smart to focus the energy on the painting. Somehow is the thumbs up doing? Yeah, four thumbs up. Okay, only 4. Oh my god. Oh my god. Yes. Let's see now. I was actually kind of exhausted after that gradering today too. My girlfriend, as I said, got her first belt in taekwondo today. And I get exhausted being there because it's so many who has so bad technique that it kind of just bores me to death. But, so I got tired of it just by watching. It's crazy. As my girlfriend said, the worst thing with graduation today was it was boring. So sit there and watch. Anyway, maybe I should talk about painting. If somebody could ask me a painting question. Somebody, give me a painting question. Now see, I want to do something with the legs here. So I'm just gonna put up another photo of her legs, if I can find it somewhere. Over the ocean. You see? Hello everybody, how are you? See that? How did I put that? Oh, there it is. There it is. Yes. When it becomes so big, you just have to kind of tattooing. Hi, 11 people watching. Ask me a question and give thumbs up, even if you don't like it. Even hate speech helps, okay? So bring it on. Just going to do like this. Yes. Like this. Now I see it better. I found out how to get the right size actually when I print. And this painting is 160 times 160 centimeters. So what I figured out in Photoshop was that I could just write in 100 the same size in the photo, and I could just move around where I want to print. And I didn't really know that before now. So I used to try to get the same size, and now it's found that, I mean, if I took a Google search, I probably would have known that already years ago. So it's very helpful to just take the photo you're going to print. If it's a huge painting and you want to have photos that is exactly the same size, you just put in the size of the painting, and you can just zoom into the different part in Photoshop, and it's very helpful. It saves time, it saves print papers, because yeah, it's easier to get the same right size. Here's a very yellow, very yellow. So I will now put in some very yellow brushwork. Nobody's asking me questions. If you don't want to ask me questions, you can buy me a coffee or a super chat. No, not a super chat, because you're not going to ask me any questions. So, yeah, I'm just fooling around. I'm fooling around a little bit. Yeah. See here. Okay, there's one. What plans do you have for the background? Oh, the background? Oh no, the background is just, the background is exactly, it's going to be exactly as it is in the photo. I'm going to show you. It's just going to be like this, with a cloud, if you see. So that's how it's going to be. I just have the same plans for the background that I have for the whole painting. Just paint and get the clouds to work, and I have to build thicker colors here. Also, since I don't have that much time on this piece, so I'm gonna try to center things more, and then keep other things down with thinner paints. And that is maybe a good idea, because usually I just pour in a lot of maybe even unnecessary paint, because there's so much darkness on the sides and stuff. So I don't really need to, I need to worry about these most main things that's gonna kind of explain the whole thing. So yeah. What plans do I have for the background? Finish it. I guess. Get more light out of it. So yeah. Thanks for the question, by the way. So are you a painter, sir? This painting is actually of my daughter when she was 15. I took it of her with my Pentax Asia. I'm gonna get that camera so we see the camera I took it with. This one, it is a analog 6.7 camera, so I took this photo with, and I just love taking photos with shit. Wow, that was almost yeah, now you almost got a spectacle. It was it's so heavy. It was the thing that kind of almost fell down. That would be interesting, huh? You almost got some entertaining now. Yo home skillets. Yo home skillets. I have no idea what that means, but thank you. It seems to be positive. It almost fell over. Yeah, I actually made this story. I had a year in prison because I broke the Norwegian gun laws, and we built a lot of. You can find the video in on my channel, my prison story. But I built this stuffily in prison. You can't see it, but I built it in the carpenter where I was working. And brought it with me. So there's a video on my channel called My Prison Story 1 and 2, so you can go check that out if you want to know why. Sometimes paint with oils and I sometimes tips to make it dry faster. What I would do, I have a medium here that is 70% terp and 70%, 30% some kind of linseed oil. It's called crema linseed oil varnish. It's not just linseed oil. There's probably some cicative or something in it. But what I do is that I just, when I paint, I don't really mix so much color. I like to I use the medium just to dip it and kind of wash my brush. And when I do this over and over again, and I take new color, then I take some white, or I don't dip it actually. I just go in and I do my work, then I go back and I may dip it, and I use it to take it off my brush, and then I just go in. So every time I do this, and you do this over a long period of time, the medium gets into the paint. It's not runny, it's not that I mix it in so much. So that way, I think the thinnest layers, they basically superficially dry after a day or two. If it's thicker, it takes maybe a week for it to be surface dry, or a few days. It depends. But if you paint over and over and you dip it and you paint, you get the medium into it, and it's almost like you mold the color, so it starts to kind of, the chemical reaction starts to increase. Well, I mean, it's oil paint, and for whatever you do, don't use raw linseed oil, raw linseed oil, because then it will never dry. And but I mean, what the advice I would give, if you want things to, you don't like that it doesn't dry faster, is just paint on like 4 paintings at the same time, and you just work it to the breaking point, and then you pick up and you hang it up to dry, and then you just take another one and you work with that until the other things dry. I also think it's very good for the mind not to work on the same things all the time. When it comes to me, I tend to have too many things at the same time, and that will also be stressful, because then you feel that like you're drowning in the end, which I've been doing for many years actually. So I'm trying to clean up my studio. There's many reasons to use oil paint, and that is because you build better textures, more natural. I think I haven't painted so much with acrylic a few years ago now, but the acrylic paint I used, I didn't feel that it had this natural. It's more like plastic in a way. Maybe that becomes better if you have a better acrylic paint, but you know. So I would paint with oil. Anyway, when I was in prison, I wasn't allowed to have oil paint because of the terp. Apparently, it's logical. Then I used some. Water-based oil paint from Winsor Newton, and it didn't give the same. I couldn't glaze over it. It was took even longer to dry because there weren't any terp in it. So yeah. But if I would choose a color, I think I would have chosen water-based oil paint instead of acrylic for the textures and yeah. that you can basically oil paint you can use more as I think about it as being clay, and that's also why I use Old Holland, because it's basically the thickest colors I know about. And it also they have a lot of pigments and stuff in them. I think that should answer the question, hopefully. You just work on more than one and let one of them paint. Let your paintings rest, but not for 10 years, like this one. This sketch I did for 10 years ago, and I have more, way more, because I was supposed to have an exhibition then, and the person who was going to make it for me, she did drink too much and she screwed up the whole plan, so I just got a new gallery, and I never made that exhibition, so then I just made other exhibitions and stuff, and some of the, and I'm the kind of person, if I sketch something and I don't finish it immediately, I easily lose interest, because my mind walks on to other things. So I think it's very important for any artist or any painter to finish the works. And as I say now, the things I'm doing right now is basically trying to clean up my room, just get unfinished things done. And yeah, okay, I painted really acrylic. Yeah, they dry too quickly. Yeah, that's true. You know, you can actually use acrylic underneath, because gesso is basically acrylic. So if you want to speed up the process, you could just do the main work. You will also save you a lot of paint. But I would go for oil. It's almost, there's a lot of people who are doing classical painting, who's doing this griselle or giselle or whatever they call it. They paint these kind of grey surfaces with all the neons, and then they start adding in color. And I just think that it's a gigantic U-turn, because why not just paint the colors here? Why do I have to paint something grey before I actually start painting what's actually there? It's just a gigantic U-turn. And why the classics did it is simply because oil paint was so extremely expensive that they basically used grounding or lead white or some fillers to create these sketches, so they could save paint and money. Maybe it has some academic to it, but I mean, when I'm looking at a surface or an object, if it's real or if it's a landscape or if it's natura or if it's from a photo, I'm seeing the motif here. Why the hell would I go and make something before I actually start painting what I see? It's just ridiculous. I have no idea why people do that. It's like when tradition basically stops progress. I don't know. I see that, I talk a lot about that German photorealist, this, did I get his name again? I'm gonna fetch the book. I always forget his name. I'm getting senile. Yes. Yeah, it's called Philip Weber artist, and he's a total photorealist. I think it's actually quite amazing that his photorealism
usually it's not, but this is taken to you know, I'm an atheist, I don't believe in any gods, but when I see this, you have to have almost a godlike patience to do it. It's just unbelievable. I mean, I've seen the way he sketches, and I think I've never seen it, but I also think he's using a projector when he kind of draws up the figures. And that, if that is true, it kind of takes away some of the fascination, because creating basically a perfect sketch on freehand is extremely difficult. So it takes away some of that difficulty. But his painting, the way he paints and the way he sits there with his super small brushes on these gigantic paintings, it's like the paintings are huge and the faces are huge, and he stands there painting every single hair. And I'm just super fascinated by it because it's so crazy, you know. It's so it's kind of, the perfection is godlike, you know. The stupid thing to say, because people believe in God because of creation, and when you look at actually how flawed we are, both physically and mentally, and with the appendix that kills us, and the teeth that kills us, and wisdom teeth that actually used to kill people and stuff. If this was a creator who actually made us, he should be fired for malpraxis of, you know, you don't create a being who dies from an intestine that aren't being used anymore. Okay, also you wouldn't create a creature that way. So yeah. So, you know, using the words God when it comes to godly is like, maybe I should say AI, an artificial intelligence that really have advanced painting skills. And that will come, or probably already here. So and that's also a thing to think about, you know. When it comes to AI creating paintings, it's really not an achievement, because there's not really anyone there creating. I mean, it's, you know, it's like, what is it like? It's a mindless, you know, the laws of nature are creating all the things we see around us. But it's a very slow process, okay? To get from the one-celled organism in the sea to me standing here painting is kind of crazy to think about. That for a few billion years ago, my ancestors were swimming around in the sea, merging with the mitochondria, so we could actually turn into mammals and eat other animals' flesh for energy. And you know, here I am talking about this. It's just so absurd that it kind of makes me want to scream. But an AI will be able to create things much faster, because it can test things and learn very fast. The universe can't really learn anything. It's a set system with certain laws that repeats itself over and over again. It is when it gets complexity from simplicity, creativity comes into play, and yeah. Actually, me and my girl made a video, a little stream with ChatGPT,
the other day. I'm gonna buy ChatGPT and get some speakers in here so I can link my phone up to. And when I stream, I'm gonna have topics. I think that was a good idea, so I can actually have a chat with ChatGPT. And if people want to jump into the conversation, I can actually ask ChatGPT questions on the behalf of my viewers and stuff. That could be quite fun. And if people don't ask me questions in chat, I can actually just talk to ChatGPT, and you can just I'm looking forward to the day I can have very shiny. I don't want these robots with skin on. I want them to look like beautiful, shiny machines with these big glowing eyes, and you know, all, so they're made of metal, but with human shape. I would love that. I don't want them to be too plastic in a way. Let me see what happens. Saw, yay. So another question. Hi, how can I start not practice? How can I start not sucking at oil painting? Just practice. I mean, it's so, you know, I have a video where on my channel where I show my old works. When I was like 21, 22, I draw like a 10-year-old. Luckily, I didn't have any real introspection, so I wasn't really capable of seeing how bad it was. And if I had, I know it would have gotten anywhere. But the point is that what I will recommend is to use still lifes and look at the old masters, a few of them. I would go to Rembrandt actually and look at brushwork and stuff, and just practice, because talent is actually bullshit. What you need, what I would say is talent is just people who get good at anything. It's the people who actually love what they do. And if you try to become a painter and you don't love what you do, you're never going to become anything anyway. What's the point? It's like, yeah. So just practice. But think about the paint as clay. The paint as shaping something. You're not gonna. It's like when I do the work, try to make this. This is just the first layer anyway, so it's kind of chaotic. But I try to, or not try. I try. That's what I do. I try. I try to follow lines. I try to go in directions, like back and forth, and create. And I pick up more and more information as I go along, because everything is just, when I take in information from this photo, it goes into my brain and then out to my hand. So I just repeat what I see. And as you get better to see, your painting will get better. And you will also start to understand textures, brushwork, where the paint is going to be high, where you have to keep it down, how the colors work. So you just have to paint, but you also need to get a hula dance. A hula dance. It's a shame you can't send me photos here. Actually, I would love to see that. You can maybe send if you find me on Instagram or Facebook or something. You can send it to me. I would love to see it. I think it's the skin tone color or something. Yeah, and that's very typical, because people think there is something called skin tone, and there isn't. You say the skin tone, if very light, in here for instance is very yellow light right now, and it's kind of blocks out all the colors, so this doesn't really look like this in real life. I don't look like this in real life, hopefully. The point is that
there's no such thing as skin color. You just have to kind of look at, and it's basically in the light areas, in the where the light hits. It will usually be in the yellows and blue and reds and stuff, and you basically just have to, when you do like here it's too orange, you know, so there's not much color to work with here. But what I do then, which is important, is to kind of, I look at here and I follow directions. I don't paint much downwards. I just try to go with, and I build space like this. And there's no, as I said, there's no such thing as skin tone, but I can guarantee you that in the light areas you see yellows and blue and stuff, and you just have to get it into the brush and learn by experience, basically. Also look at classical paintings, especially about how they have used the brush to mold it, and how, yeah, over paints and stuff. You're not an idiot. Idiots, they don't learn from their mistakes. They say, oh, there is such a thing as skin tone. I can buy flesh tint in the store. Oh, there is such a thing as blue, sky blue color, or blah blah. There is no such thing. There's a lot of colors. No, you're not an idiot because of that, you know. We are idiots if we don't learn from our mistakes. I've done a lot of idiotic things. I've done so much idiotic things in my life that I sometimes wonder how I got done anything at all, actually. But I think it was very helpful having severe ADHD, so that I actually could, when I actually were doing something, I actually got a lot of shit done. So it's very helpful if you have ADHD. Just drink a lot of coffee and water, lemon water. You put on some music, and the rest is kind of, yeah. No, you're not an idiot. Just, you know, it's like me. I know absolutely nothing about sports. Okay? I'm not interested in sports. It's like fashion. I'm not interested in fashion and sports. Nobody can actually make me interested in it. Now I can't, yeah, there's my medium. And if I were in a discussion in a party and I was sitting there acting like I actually knew something about sports, and somebody pointed out to me, but sir, you don't really know this because blah blah blah. And I said, hey, I know this, I know everything. That is when you're an idiot. Okay, then you're not ignorant anymore, because everybody's ignorant about something. I'm ignorant about things I haven't studied. It doesn't make me an idiot, or I can't do skills that I haven't been exercising doing. So, you know, that's why I say, if I could learn to paint, and I prove that in my video where I show all my old paintings, old artwork, I prove it, that if I could actually, I was a welder in the shipyard. So if I can actually could learn how to paint, anyone can learn how to paint. We're painting in December. Okay, December. Okay, hey man, you're just in the beginning. Just paint. I would recommend, if you go I've been here and watch my videos, I mean, do some still lifes. Just look at my time lapses or whatever, but just see how I build it, and you kind of
you just see how I start, and that's basically how all the painters started. You know, there's no big difference really, except from these people who are making these grey gazelles or whatever it's called. I never can actually pronounce that right because I'm Norwegian and I'm dyslexic and you know. Anyway. So just do still lifes, and also one of the things I usually tell people is don't try to be an artist, because you're already an artist. You're born an artist. You are a human being, and all human beings are born creative. So you basically just have to tap into the skills that is, the possibilities that is already in your genome. You just have to practice. Now there might be something called, you know, Nietzsche's Übermensch. She didn't of course mean the same thing as Adolf Hitler, but maybe there is people that are more genetically go. And I think I have kind of these go genes. When I was young, I was working 8 hours in a shipyard, and I trained 4 hours after that. Karate, boxing, weights, karate, you know, was every day. I couldn't really, and that was my ADHD probably that helped. So I had this go gene, and when I started painting, I just painted like crazy, and because I liked it. So yeah, that's how you get better. Your father, okay, was a welder. My father was actually a first steelman. It's like almost a captain in boats, and he is also a welder. And I actually wonder if I'm going to start training again, pick it up again just for fun. Maybe make some sculptures or something. That could be fun. But you know. So little time, so much to do. So that's a problem. Just you know, when I paint, when I talk on the stream, I'm not going deep into flow like I would if I was silent or I only had music on. So it may seem a little bit random and spread out here. So, but you know, I'm only putting in the first layers now anyway. So later I will, when I close down the stream, the time is actually. How long have I been talking? Yeah, you can hear my ADHD in the way I'm talking. I'm talking all the time. So yeah. I was a welder until I was like 20, 21, then I quit in the shipyard. I was actually doing pipes to the North Sea and stuff. I was a good welder. I got all the best jobs, you know, in the ship. So I could have had a quite good career in that, because I could say this about myself. When I really like something, I do usually become fairly good at it. I'm not saying that I'm not, when it comes to painting, I'm not classically skilled or extremely technical. Maybe that train is gone too, because my age, I'm 57 years old now, and of course I'm not 27. Maybe there's a limit to how much I can actually evolve as an artist because of my age. But what I feel has happened the last years, because of a lot of chaos in my life and a lot of depression, pain, the prison story, heartbreak, everything, it made me so much deeper. And I think that kind of
been translated into my brushwork now. It's not that it's getting better, it may just become more human in a way. Because brushwork comes while you work. It's something that evolves. It's not that I'm deciding every brushwork. Sometimes actually, okay, in the end of some painting, I can actually choose to put in some brushwork that will enhance certain things. But usually it's a more like, okay, I put some clay in here, I take away some clay there, and then in the end I have a motif. So in a way, when people say how do you paint, I say I still don't really know. It just happens. I just start and then it just grows from there. And yeah. If I, like I said earlier in this stream, should have been doing the kind of photorealism that Philip Weber artists are doing, I basically had to totally change my approach to it. So it's not something I would do. It is just something I'm impressed by because it's so crazy. It's so good that it's. I'm gonna show you again from the book. Maybe I should make a sit-down video. Just talk about this guy. It's called Philip Weber, and he's a German. He must have some kind of. I mean, look at this. This is a graphite on paper. You know, it can't really become more perfect. I don't think how could it become every drop of, you know, it is really hard to see if it is a drawing or a photo. And here you can see a painting of the same thing. And you can actually see the droplings on her nose. He has some paintings in this book, which is some of the first paintings. And here you can see, it's still photorealism, but he hasn't taken it to the level that he has now, where it is so 100% accurate that you can't really. Well, you see it when you see it on photo, it's really hard to see. But notice one thing. Yeah, look at this shit. You know, look. You see it? You see it? Look at this. You have to check out Philip Weber artist. And some people, oh, what's the point of painting like this? You could take a photo. No, the point is that this is like sending rockets to Mars. Okay, it's difficult on a level that represents and reflects the absolute best in human nature. And then you have Putin, who is the worst. Okay, that is only destroying, and it's sad that we lose so many potential geniuses because of some one guy's ambitions. As I said, I was making a segment yesterday, and I was thinking about this. Let me see. Yeah. It is sculpture. It is sculpture. I look at it as sculpture, and that is why I use the Old Holland paints. You see it here, because on the Old Holland paint is a very expensive paint, but it's a lot of pigment in it, and it's thick like clay. I'm also going to start doing. I've been fantasizing on this now for many years, and started doing sculpture. I think I'm going to start with a bust of a bust is a different name, you know, a head or a portrait in clay of my girl, Amalia. By the way, she's probably gone to bed now anyway. But I will place the link to her channel in the description when I'm done with this stream. So you can actually, she needs followers. She's a very good painter. And yeah, I will put her into chat now. See if I can find it and put her I want to put a link to her YouTube channel into chat now. Her name is Amalia Vikshåland. Please subscribe to her channel because she needs more followers to get monetized. Actually, YouTube has monetized her for her video, a video she put out, but of course she's not earning anything. This mouse, always something, isn't there? Hello. Copy. Yeah. Okay. Now, could you please go and let me see? Yeah. For you people who are here now, could you please go and check out her YouTube channel and subscribe to her? Yeah, she has a lovely name. Amalia is a lovely name. And she's a lovely girl, so please go and check out her channel. She posts a beautiful flower painting now. So if somebody's watching now, please go and check out her channel and subscribe. Thank you, sir. That's good. And give a like under her video, the long video, and write a little comment to her, because you know, yeah, it's really hard to get into the algorithm. Now I'm flagged by Facebook, I'm flagged by Instagram, I'm flagged by Google because I painted a Muhammad painting. And I've been a little bit too aggressive in my commenting on other things in politics and stuff, so I'm kind of flagged. So yeah, thank you. Give her some love. Also give a like on her painting if you have time for it, and maybe write a little comment. So it's great if you do. Maybe I should do a shout out to her channel every time I actually do. Yeah. And she's the kind of person who, she could actually become, she's only 32, so she could actually be, she's so hyper focused. She thinks she has maybe some aspires or some, but I think it's just hyper focus and some more calm ADHD type of thing, because she really goes in deep and very honest, yeah. So I think she's probably one of a few girls I actually could have a relationship with. There's absolutely no drama and just kindness. So yeah. A good girl. Well, it usually doesn't. Apple doesn't fall far from the tree. It's true. My family is just weird. My grandfather, he was in the United States in a 20s and 30s. I think it was the 30s, and he read too much. He read too much science fiction, and he had probably some neurosis and bipolar issues and stuff. actually thought he was going to be abducted by aliens during the war, Second World War, and he got himself some shock treatment. And they say he never really became the same, because after that he wasn't that happy anymore. He was more calm, but so craziness runs in my family, I guess. My mother is very hyperactive. My brother has it. My daughter has it. So, as I told my daughter when I said, you know that feeling that you're waiting for something's going to happen, that something is going to happen that's just going to calm you down and everything is going to be all right. It's never going to happen. This thing comes from you. It doesn't come from outside. And the only thing you can do is to have something you love doing, and just try to put the hyperactivity or the hypomania and stuff, and just try to put it into something positive. So and we all have, with that kind of brain, we have a very addictive personality type. So we have to be careful. I can get addicted from. One time I was addicted to listening to BBC World Service 24 hours a day when I was painting. I have been addicted to porn. I have been addicted to, almost became addicted to alcohol. I have been addicted to exercise so much that I had to replace both my hips before I was. Well, no, I did it when I was 50, and you know, it's just crazy. I burned up both my hips, and there was nothing left, no cartilage at all, and I have two prostheses in my. And I also managed to ruin one of the prostheses, so I need a new a new hip replacement, because I exercised my right prosthesis, so it loosened from the bone. That's why I'm swaying a little bit when I walk. I have a limp now because it's out of sync, the whole foot. So this fall I will probably have a new replacement or correction. So yeah. It's typical. But this time I'm going to take better care of it, and I'm not going to overdo the training, and I'm going to live a stoic life. I've noticed that as I slowly improve, I start to get bad at everything else. What do you mean, like life is crazy? You have to cook to make it, yeah. And we don't even make it. That's the whole crazy thing about it. We don't even make it. We are all on death row, and it's absurd because we feel so alive, and suddenly poof, we're gone, and it can happen any day. So I mean, it's crazy because life is intrinsically meaningless. There's no real meaning to it. So what I'm doing when I paint, I'm just adding in some while I wait. As George Carlin said, the problem is in being dead, the problem is getting dead. And as I wait for my demise, I just try to add in so many positive distractions as I can, so that the suffering of actually existing becomes more manageable, and you get more of these good moments that makes the whole absurdity worth it. So that is the way I think about it. I don't believe in an afterlife. I don't believe we are any gods or anything. So when I'm dead, I'm probably gone. And if I'm not, I'm gonna be happily surprised unless I have to go to heaven and praise God for all eternity, which I will not, even if I have to. So, if we have another life, I want us to get the high understanding. It's like the moment Adolf Hitler shoots himself in the head, or Putin got taken out by his so-called friends, they immediately wakes up to the reality of existence and see the error of their ways. So, you know, but it's not going to happen, and that's the shame. You know, they keep on killing and keep on doing bad things, and there is no, if they don't get punished in this life, it's not going to be any punishment in the next. So that's actually a sad thing. But if you have a next life, I at least want to be free. So I don't know why I started ranting about that. What do you mean by you have noticed that as I slowly improve, I start to get bad at everything else? That was a fascinating thing to say. What do you mean? What do you get bad at as you get better? What I noticed is as my consciousness has evolved and introspection has been more and more turned on, I'm getting more and more bad of doing superficial things. I get bad at watching stupid movies just to kind of numb out restlessness. So I kind of get more bad at doing bad things, you know. Well, that's normal, you know. Only you get. Maybe you probably just have the hypomania and a little bit of ADHD, as I do. Yeah. Try to get it. I'm trying to make a schedule myself, like start working from the mornings, because I notice that as I age, it takes more a toll working at night. I also love my nights, so it's kind of a mixed things. I also have a girlfriend now that kind of likes to have a better schedule, but she's not the kind of person who would tell me to, oh, you have to on my schedule, I don't want to be with you, me. She wouldn't have done something like that, because she loves her own alone time also, so she's not that kind of person. Luckily, I wouldn't be able to be with a girl who was like that. You don't get enough time. I wanna watch TV with you every night, and I wanna cuddle. Cuddle. We cuddle a lot, but you know what I mean. You don't want a girl who, you know, it's a set. As I say, you know, two people meet. They never met before. They never had one another before, and then they want everything. They want all the time, you know. You go from not having that person to wanting all of that person. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, lose interest in everything else. The reason you lose interest in bullshit is that doesn't give you that slow, beautiful flow. And it's that flow that actually gives meaning to life. When you paint, you feel you have a perfect illusion of meaning, and it's because you do something. And that is the tragedy. I see it even in the gym, which is really annoying. they are ruining the exercise for not just themselves, but they also do ruin the exercise for. They're sitting on that. They're sitting on these weight. It can be machines or whatever, and they sit there on a fucking phone all the time. They don't even exercise anymore. They just sit there on the phone, be entertained. It's like the scene in Gladiator. Are you entertained? Yeah, that's the whole thing. Are you entertained? Actually, you should go. I'm gonna see if I can find it. You should listen to Seneca. Seneca was one of Rome's greatest Stoics. He was actually executed or ordered to kill himself by Nero. And he has this, Seneca on the shortness of life. This is so brilliant. You just have to listen to this. It is amazing. Let me see here.
Translated by Gareth D. Williams. Most of mankind, Polly, on the shortness of life, by Lucius Annaeus Seneca. Translated by Gareth D. Williams. Most of mankind, Polliness, complains about nature's meanness, because our allotted span of time is so short, and because this stretch of time that is given to us runs its course so quickly, so rapidly.
Just listen.
So much so that, with very few exceptions, life leaves the rest of us in the lurch just when we're getting ready to live. And it's not just the masses and the unthinking crowd that complain of what they perceive as this universal evil. The same feeling draws complaints even from men of distinction. Hence that famous dictum of the greatest of physicians, life is short, art long. Hence also Aristotle's grievance, most unbecoming a philosopher, when he called nature to account for bestowing so much time on animals that they can live for 5 or 10 human lifespans, while so much shorter a time is set for humans, even though they have born to do many great things. It's not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it. Life is long enough, and it's been given to us in generous measure for accomplishing the greatest things, if the whole of it is well invested. But when life is squandered through soft and careless living, and when it's spent on no worthwhile pursuit, death finally presses, and we realise the life which we didn't notice passing has passed away. So it is. The life we are given isn't short, but we make it so. We're not ill-provided, but we are wasteful of life.
This is so
Just as
beautiful.
impressive and princely wealth is squandered in an instant when it passes into the hands of a poor manager.
Everybody should listen to Seneca.
Through careful deployment if it is entrusted to a responsible guardian. Just so, our lifetime offers ample scope to the person who maps it out well. Chapter 2. Why do we complain about nature? It has acted generously. Life, if you know how to use it, is long. But one person's held in the grip of voracious avarice, another by the kind of diligence that busies itself with pointless enterprises. This one's sodden with wine, another slack with idleness. This one's tired out by his political ambition, which always hangs on the judgment of others, while another's passionate desire for trading drives him headlong over every land and every sea in hope for profit. A passion for soul
Seneca.
some men, who are always either bent on inflicting.
The audio is 54 minutes, and I mean, if you go for a long walk or whatever, please listen to Seneca on the shortness of life and everything else he's written. It's 2,000-year-old philosophy, and it is so extremely important. And these philosophers, these Stoics, they were criticizing the lifestyles, the hedonistic lifestyles of the Romans. And Stoicism is basically the opposite of hedonism, or I would actually go as far as to call it the real hedonism. You know, when you consume your own creativity, when you consume the good things, not you don't need to have that new girl, you don't need to have that new thing or new app or the new phone or the new. You are pleased with just being in a flow. Okay. I mean, in Buddhism you have nirvana, and nirvana is basically finding flow. it's being and not being, and it is where, when I really get into painting, it is actually where I am. I am in nirvana. I am, but I also not am. I am in complete flow. And when I am in complete flow, it is basically complete living without the stressful part of it, you know. So, and people, and it's, the problem is it's slow dopamine. So it kind of takes, it's like eating salmon with potatoes and some broccoli compared to buying a pizza. Of course the pizza will give you a kick. It will give you a rush, like alcohol or drugs or like sugar. But in the long term, it just destroys you, okay? So painting is like, it's almost like a well-tasting, healthy meal. You don't necessarily get this extreme bang. Sometimes I do when I play music and stuff. And when I paint, I get into this real dancers, like being at a dance floor, almost like, you know, having sex. But usually it's a more slow dopamine. And to me it is a lifesaver actually. It's crazy. Anyway, I'm talking so much, I'm kind of losing focus. Maybe I should close down the stream for tonight and start actually focusing a little bit deeper. Maybe I should just have a stream where I actually listen to audiobooks or something. There's so much copyright issues today, so it's hard to find something you can actually use as a background tone. Actually, I like better when people ask me questions on streams, because then I can get into painting or whatever thing they, yeah. Anyway, so I'm just gonna go, I'm just gonna go, maybe I should I do more here? No. Maybe a little bit. And I need to go up to that cloud, so I can actually calculate approximately how long a painting will take to dry, because I know at least I need to put in 2 or 3 layers. And when you have just a few days, you have to start calculating how much time things will take to dry and stuff like that. So it's getting really late here. Maybe I should do it tomorrow. I was actually going to paint on a different painting tomorrow. But see what happens. And yeah. That distract me. I'm having a stream to talk to people. So it's not you. I want people to ask me questions. That's why I'm making this stream, so I can interact with people. So don't be sorry. I want people to ask questions. So yeah. What is the point of having a stream if I don't want to talk to people? I can just make videos instead, you know. Now you have, if you want me to teach you more directly to paint, you can actually go to PATRON or something. I do have tiers there, and I'll be happy to be your mentor or something if you need that.
But also just ask questions on my streams and I will answer them and help people. You know, I do get a little bit of revenue from ads on YouTube now. It's not much, but you know, it is growing, and growing slowly, but it's growing. My goal with YouTube would be actually to be able to earn enough money, not having to take any commission works at all, because I have so many things I want to paint. And so that too, I actually made a video about that. I mean, if I should give one advice to artists and stuff, less is more. Save your money. Don't get into it. If you earn something, try to save something so you can actually say no to so you can focus more on getting better instead of using a lot of time or making your own art. Because when you make your own art, it is way more gratification in it than, and I try to do a really good job. I'm gonna post actually I figure out the video I'm gonna post is actually 14 hours long, so I have to make some of the segments into time lapses with voiceover. But it's a portrait I just finished, and it became pretty nice actually. It was a commissioned work, and I was basically struggling like crazy with it. Also, I just finished a portrait of a young girl, which is also a commissioned work, and some other people ask me now if I want to do something, but hopefully I can say nay. No, yeah, nay. You know, no in Norway, it's nay. I say nay. I don't want to do it. Unless you pay me a hell of a lot of money. Oh, such a whore. I shouldn't say words like that, because every time I post a video or something, I have to answer if there is any foul language or anything in the video. So I should be careful what to say. Anyway, I've been streaming now for 90 minutes. So if anybody have any questions, now's your chance, because I'm shutting down so I can focus a little bit deeper. It was a nice 1.5 hour, nice conversation. Yeah, talking is good. Yes. Remember to give a thumbs up the video. If you could share it on social media or something, that would also be amazing. So, thank you for the chat. And, there, hello. So, I'm looking forward to get my new camera. And of course, remember to the new camera, yes. So then the quality will get better. I can also zoom better, and because the mobile telephone, if you see the light here, it's just yellow, but it's not that in reality. So it kind of just blurs out all the, and I really look like shit in this. I'm getting older, I see that. Anyway, yeah, thanks for the chat. Yes, it was nice tonight. Actually, some people came in to say hi. I think it was actually a nice chat. We covered a lot of stuff. So, yeah, tips on sky painting. Build the cloud. Yeah, tips on sky painting. Build the. When I build, keep the background. Have texture in it, but keep it down. Okay. The high places you build like like I build here. You build the sculpture. I'm gonna probably
stream more from this painting process, and maybe I'll stream when I do some on the cloud. But what I do, when you have light places, you just make it thick. Also, think at the sky as a color circle or a rainbow. Okay, it's actually a rainbow. So if you really look at it, you will see that all the colors, as you go in deeper and deeper, you know, if this was if the sun was over there, of course, or over here, there would be way more orange and stuff, but it comes in from the side. Yeah, and find the what should I say? And get all, paint over it several times if you can, and try to get all different blues. I use among other things to get the greens in it. I use Preußer blue. You can use I use cobalt blue. I use ultramarine blue, and I use the alizarin. And the alizarin is actually violet, and I can see that the alizarin is basically, this is the alizarin. This is actually Michael Harding, which is also a good paint. I actually also use a little bit of Vincent Newton, but basically this is the ultramarine. These two are basically complementary. So if you put these things, mix them together, or put them, and if you mix this with if you mix Prussian blue with some red, you bring it to having some yellow in it, and it brings it more down to the green. And you know, Preußer blue is kind of greenish, and this is kind of reddish. So just try to see, and it's green. It's you know, all the complementary, like the shadow. Here in the light areas, you will have a lot of warm colors. Underneath here, you will have the mix between the alizarin and the cobalt blue, and you will kind of, the gray isn't really gray. It is colors just mixed together. And you will find if it's reddish underneath here in the shadow, say that you mix these two together, there will be greenish behind here that pushes this out. So that is basically, you just have to kind of see the colors. So yeah. So yeah, that's my view. Well, that's how I do it. So just try to see what's colors there, and also, I don't know what kind of palette you have. Well, I have to do it here. My palette, I have these. You find there is videos on my channel where I show you the palette, but I basically have I have the primary colors like yellow, blue, and red, and then I have the alizarin. I have some broken. You have cadmium yellow deep, and I have also an orange, because it's so stressful to mix orange, but you just mix yellow and red and get orange. And I have three. This is Preußer blue. I have cobalt blue, and burnt umber, and raw umber, and no, burnt sienna. Sorry, and raw sienna. This is Van Dyke brown. This is burnt umber, raw umber. I have blue black, and that is actually from Vincent Newton. You don't find it in the other colors. Oh. And then I have ivory black, which I just started using actually. I haven't been using that for years, but I found out it was a good way to kind of, if you want earthy colors, it's a good way to pull complementary colors down without they being too. You actually, if you take ivory black and you mix it with red, it brings it down. If you mix it with blue black, it kind of becomes a little bit more kind of bluish or dirty or whatever. So I have my my Titan white because it's thick, and these are, yeah, I don't, maybe you've seen it before, but I have some favorite colors I use, and that is I can show you so you know. There are 3 colors without the others, since you're here. That is Naples Gel Extra, and that is Brilliant Gel Reddish. It's yellow, Brilliant Yellow Reddish from Old Holland. And then I have this one, which is called Brilliant Gel Light. These are just primary colors with some kind of mixed together. It just makes the process a little bit. So this one, Naples Gel Extra with Alsarin and the blue and stuff, creates with reddish and other white and stuff. It's very good to do skin tone with. It's called Naples Gel Extra because it's kind of greenish or yellowish, but you can bring it towards the green, towards the blue, towards the red without actually it gets dirtied up. So it's quite good. Yeah, and when you have decided where you want to have the colors, this is your piano. So don't start moving it around. Do not have paints like green, like grass green or blue sky blue or anything. You just have the primary colors and you keep it simple, and with this you can create all the nuances in the universe. So with this, I wish you a fine farewell, and I'm just going to take it off. I can show you a little bit of my textures here, so you can see. This is kind of a grisello. It's way too yellow, you know. It's this camera is just, you can see how it's built. This is just the first layer, and it's just crisscrossing a lot of brushwork, and then you just keep on kind of what should I say? You just keep painting and adding more and more brushwork until it comes closer and closer to yeah, my piano, which I should start using more. That's why I got it, to learn to paint the piano. So with this, I will thank you for watching. If you want me to teach you how to paint, you know what to do. Go to my Patreon or whatever, and give a thumbs up if you see this after the fact, and I hope to see you in the next video. Yeah, okay. Thank you very much. It was a nice conversation. Have a good one. Bing, bing. And go to my girlfriend's YouTube channel and sign up. Bye-bye.